what we've been talking about a lot when we train with the SHREDmill is gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, gear 4. Gear 1 is first step explosion built in the weight room. Gear 2 is acceleration with power. Gear 3 is transferring to top speed. And gear 4 is maintaining the top speed, or what your top speed is. What we've kind of changed it to work game speed is just 1, 2, 3. We want to explode first, create force second, transfer to top speed third. 1, 2, 3. And in fact, we honestly want to learn how to explode 1 step, create force 2 steps, and transfer to top speed in 3 steps. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to have Yosiah and Gianna, 2 different body types, work on warming up first for 10 minutes, and we're just going to do a sprint dynamic circle warm up. That just warms people up. And I'm going to do a lot of talking and just learning how to warm up. So come on over here, Yosiah. So Yosiah started with us as an employee and could run like a 4.7. Now he runs a 4.46 hand, 4.51 laser with just a couple days rest, no peaking. What's funny about that is when we test his broad, when he runs that 4.46, 4.51, his broad's only 9'6". Sorry about that. So he's not very explosive. He's truly running it just by putting force into the ground and transferring to top speed. He's not overly exploding out of the start, and in a 40, you don't overly open up with top speed. So he's like a good good symbol of how do you explode, create force, and transfer to top speed. And then Gianna, come here, Gianna. What I want to show with Gianna is Gianna's only going into 10th grade, but she has great form. Okay, so she's going to be able to look perfect at doing everything, but since she doesn't have the force capabilities of Yosiah, the speeds won't be the same. And then this is little Carol Miles. So do you want to show them how you run on the SHREDmill today? Maybe. But it's so easy a baby can do it is what we want to show you. So all we're going to do is warm up first. Just create circles. Go hands on the side. So all I'm going to tell Yosiah on this first warm-up is just try to go about 10 miles an hour, chest up, and all I want to see him do is make some circles, like he's riding a bike. Go ahead. Nice and easy. So he's just easy 10 miles an hour. He's running correctly now, which is good. Foot coming down underneath him, heel coming up to his butt, knee pulling up, rest. Now Gianna goes. Sometimes Gianna runs with a little too much turnover and not enough length. I'm going to make sure she pulls her knees through. Go ahead, not fast, just easy, maybe 8 miles an hour. Get your heels up a little bit. There you go, that left heel on my side. Good. And rest. Now what'd you hurt in track this year? Which side? Yes. So I hope you guys saw that. She hurt her left groin in track season this year, and when you watched her run, her left heel didn't come up as much. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so now I just want them to go through the first warm-up drill, and it's going to be to get those heels up. Okay, so hey, we just want to snap that heel up and stretch that quad. Okay, snap that heel up, stretch that quad. A lot of football players are so quad dominant, they have a problem with this drill, so that's what we want to target. Snap the heel up, stretch the quad. Good, and then bring it back, guys. Go ahead. So all we're doing when we work on warming them up for the warm-up phase of speed is just getting them to learn how to do that beautiful cycle. And it starts by getting that heel up. And if their hamstrings can recruit and their quads are loose enough, it works. A lot of guys with tight quads can't do this drill. Weak hamstrings can't do this drill. Okay, so let's go again, Yosiah. Hey, so first set we said Yosiah be at 10. Just tell Yosiah to maybe go to 11 now. Now he's at 11, all he's going to try to do is create a little bit of a bigger circle. Good. Gianna goes. So Gianna, we're going to tell her, she's healthy now, but obviously that track injury lingered. Let's tell her to make sure she gets her left heel up. Go ahead. Get your left heel up. There you go. Get it up there again. See, it works. Now she just has to think about it now. Good. So the next part of speed, right, is making sure that toe and knee can come up and you finish high. So we do that high knee grab, but we always say, you want to show them how to do it, Carol Miles? Okay, we always say toe up, knee up, chest up, hug, and make sure that glute is hard as a rock. Go ahead. So those guys that are used to weight room, we tell them, why do you deadlift? To put force into the ground. So we tell them every time their knee comes up, when their knee comes up, they've got to create force into the ground with that glute. You want to run on there? Come on. Let's see how painful it is. Okay? And we can even go just one-legged knees up and just add in a toe touch. We'll go knee up, toe up, make sure that glute's hard as a rock, and then go down, touch that toe. And again, we're just doing sprint dynamic warm-ups, creating that cycle. Okay, Yosiah, go again. Let's try to say Yosiah now. Let's go 12 miles an hour. Just getting a little bit looser. As he gets a little looser and the circle gets bigger, his speed will get a little higher. Now this top speed phase, it's working top speed, but we're warming up. It gets to the speed easy and you hold on to it. That's what a circle does. It holds on to speed. Doesn't build too much speed, doesn't forcefully get there, it just maintains speed. Track principle. Right, Gianna? That left heel up there. There you go. And this is why we have Gianna, because she has great form. And rest. And Yosiah's going 12 with great form, she's going 10. So since it's just a form phase, free moving, not a lot of effort, not a lot of power, she's very close to a guy who runs a 4.4, 4.5 40. Okay? So now let's just put those two moves together. Let's start with our knee up, right? Actually, let's start with our heels down. And all I want you to do is go heel up, make sure that's working fine. If it's working fine and it's stretched out, just go heel up, knee up. Heel up, knee up. And when that knee comes up, make sure that glute's hard. And then the other side, heel up, make sure that heel's coming up fine, and then just go heel up, knee up. Okay, go ahead. Heel up, make sure that heel up's coming fine, and then just heel up, knee up. Yep. Just that cycle from the bottom, we call it. We call that the cycling from the bottom, that heel up, knee up. You want to try to do that, Carol? Heel up, knee up. Now, a lot of times with guys, and it's great we have Gianna here because, you're 14? 15, because we got, anyone can learn to do this right. If a guy is not coordinated enough to do it, he just hasn't practiced it. Sometimes his quads are too quad dominant to really snap that heel up. Sometimes that glute doesn't fire when his knee comes up just because he hasn't worked on that reaction. Sometimes his toe dangles, and when his toe dangles, he overloads his hamstring to get his heel up. It's got to be loaded to use the strong part of your hamstring. So now let's do it from the knee up position. So now let's just go chest up, knee up, toe up, make sure that glute's hard, and try to hit that cycle, okay? And this is where you have to watch your athletes, because if a cycle falters, go ahead. Both of them look good at it. Go ahead, chest up, knee up, toe up, hit a cycle. Good. They can really whip it around, but normally if you find out what part is weak on them, normally with football players, is getting that heel up. So normally with football players or quad dominant guys, you're constantly having them work on that heel snap, quad pull with that toe loaded, heel snap, knee pull. And if you kind of do that with them a little bit, then you tell them, all right, get to your knee up, then they can whip it around, okay? So let's hit one more. Gear it up pretty fast now. So big, big, big. There you go. And Yosiah got it to 14.9 just on the little warm-up phase. When I say gear it up, I just mean make big circles. Just warming up with sprint dynamic. Go ahead. Good, get that heel up, left heel up. Good, and rest. That's simply how we warm up. Now, if they've got good mechanics and we want them to go overload, deload, we're having them warm up on there, and then do like a little 30, 40, maybe 60 yard build up down the turf. And then it turns into a conditioning warm-up, a more movement warm-up. Warm up your stride, apply it to the ground. Warm up your stride, apply it to the ground. But if they're are not loose, then we don't make it a conditioning form warm-up. We make it a technique on the SHREDmill, do sprint dynamics to work the technique. Good.